Hello and welcome to another episode of Common Chaos Live with me, Christian Rauchenwald, on this sunny Wednesday afternoon. I think it's Wednesday. Yes, I hope you all had a great week so far. As always, before we jump into today's episode, let's first get the usual disclaimer out of the way. Everything that I share in this live stream / video is my personal opinion and in no way financial or professional advice of any kind. You should always do your own research, consult certified professionals, draw your own conclusions, and make your own decisions. As we've shared last week, or as we've discussed last week, let me try again. So as we've shared last week, we're working on trying to reduce answering the same questions. Today it's really bad, English very hard, English left the room. So we're trying to reduce the number of repetitive questions. That's why if you have questions, please submit them at the So I shared the link. You can submit your questions here. So moving forward, or actually starting this week, we are using the questions that you submit in the comments of that post. I will pin that message to the chat so it's easier for people to find. Replace pinned message. There we go. And we will then answer them in the stream. And I will also, or Cherry will also then reply. Cherry will then also reply to the comment that you left on the post with the link to the stream, so you get your answer if you didn't manage to watch the stream. And if we have repetitive questions show up or so, then we can simply reference back to a different episode, and I don't have to answer the same thing over and over again. And I hope that this way we are able to cover more ground. Now this is going to probably be a bumpy experience, so especially since Irina is not here today and it's Cherry alone trying to do everything. But we're going to try to do it this way. I also haven't figured out how to best arrange everything for myself, so I'm kind of like using all my screens at the moment, which is kind of annoying, but anyway, I hope you all had a great week so far, and thanks for stopping by. Now I'm going to quickly check if I have anything saved that I wanted to share. I don't think there was anything Pi related. Nope. So we actually today can jump directly into the questions, and I will, I'm going to check 1 second. Basia, if you have a problem, you don't have to watch, So I think I recall your comments. If you're an impatient prick that thinks he is entitled to my time and that I only have to answer because you have questions within 5 minutes, then you're simply wrong. If you're here now to complain, you see that also doesn't work because our moderators are on spot. If you want to get answers, then maybe show some gratitude for people that actually spend the time to bring those answers to you. Otherwise, just close the window, find another YouTube channel that you can follow. And I wish you all the best in the future, but unless you develop some proper attitude, you're not welcome. Simple as that. Will I ever do a Pi giveaway? So actually we're going out of flow here, but so that's the one thing I'm going to answer from the chat. As said, for the rest, please just submit your questions in the form that's in the pinned message. And then we will address them so that we don't always answer the same questions. Will I ever do a Pi giveaway? No idea. Honestly, I have no idea how many Pi I will get in the end. 90% of my referrals are not active. So while I'm sure in some of my videos you have seen whatever 3-4 million Pi that it shows in my app, but the actual number that I'll get will be much, much lower. And that will be one factor. And the second factor, I'm not a fan of giveaways. That doesn't mean that I never do them, but the problem is it only attracts the wrong audience. It doesn't lead to anything good. We had a time where we had on our Discord daily giveaways. So I literally gave away half of the earnings that I made from referral stuff. So from for example, Honeygain and other apps. But the only thing it caused was that people then just wrote spam content, so they qualify for the giveaway. So it's the problem is with everything good you do, There are also people that try to take advantage from it. And at the end of the day, to be fair, so again, I'm not against giveaways and I'm not ruling it out, but I also consider that every single pie that I have or will get in the end, that I worked hard for it. So, I mean, I don't know how many hours of videos there exist about pie that I made. I don't know how many people are still active because they watched my videos and got answers from that. And everyone else had the same chance, 5 years ago or 6 years ago, everyone else had the same chance. Start a blog, start a YouTube channel, tell friends and family and every person they run into. So, but I'm not ruling it out, yeah, but there are no promises on this, yeah. Anyway, so as said, please, so we're gonna go through the questions that we received yesterday and on Monday. Since yesterday we focused on the ecosystem, and every new question, please use the link that's pinned in the chat, submit it there, and then it will be covered tomorrow or in the stream after that. And yeah, so this way we avoid repeating the same questions over and over again. Yeah. Just be happy this service is for free. Yeah, no, it's also not free. You watch YouTube here and there, you see an ad, maybe you skip it, maybe you don't, and we get some money. It's not a lot. I shared it recently, but we get a little bit of money from YouTube. So it's also not free. Yeah. Obviously, there's also the option you can donate, you can become a member of the channel and watch videos a day or more earlier before other people get to see them and so on, and get some other benefits. But it's not a requirement because we already make some money from YouTube, yeah. And yeah, as said, please submit your questions in the pinned message, which is this one. So pinned message, just submit them there. And if I already answered it, I or Cherry will reply with the link to the answer. And if I didn't answer it, I'll cover it in one of my next streams, and then we'll share the link with you as well. Yeah? This way we get through stuff. Okay, so first question on the list that was submitted, and I'm going to share it in the chat. And for now, I'm not going to replace the pinned message, so there I'm going to leave the one that is for the submission of new questions. First question was, when will the project implement the key promises from the white paper and Pi core team announcements, like a high initial listing price and 100 D apps at open mainnet? Yeah. So personally, I'm more than happy with the listing price and with the price development, which also addresses one or two questions that we had in the chat today. You have to imagine there is a new crypto project that had required zero investment. You didn't have to buy any kind of coins or any kind of subscription or pay any money. Yeah. And it's trading for now a little bit more than 2 weeks, and it's ranked on number 11 worldwide on CoinMarketCap among all coins and tokens. Yeah. If that is not a high listing, launching basically in the top 15, I don't know what is. Yeah. For something where people had to invest thousands of dollars, or big investors poured in hundreds of millions or so, I believe this is a high listing. Yeah. And as far as the 100 D apps, so the 100 apps in the ecosystem goes, there is a, let me see if I find it and I can share it. I probably will be able to find it, but just a second. So screen, I think the update in December shared that. Yeah. So apps. Well, let's look for not, yeah. So, yeah. Okay. Yeah, maybe I cannot find it right now, but one of the announcements, maybe not the December one, maybe the one before, maybe the one after that or so, the core team shared that the 100 apps will not be a requirement for the open mainnet launch anymore. We used yesterday's episode. Maybe Jerry can share the link to the stream. If not, then you can find it on the channel page to jump into the ecosystem. Obviously, the apps in the ecosystem leave a lot to be asked for, so they are very unpolished. Some of them are not working at all. But as I shared yesterday, I believe that now with Pi being listed and having a value that will actually change, that people will start to, developers will start to work more on their apps, because they will actually be able to see just how much money they theoretically could make if they create the right app. And it will, in my opinion, also attract more developers. However, I would expect it to take at least, optimistically would be 3 months to see the first good apps. Somewhere in the middle or neutrally would be 6 months, and realistically would be, it might take a year to see some really great apps in the Pi ecosystem. Long term, obviously, the ecosystem will be essential for the price development, because if nobody ever has a reason to buy Pi coins, then all that's going to happen is people press a button, they get free Pi coins, free in quotes, you have to push a button to get them, yeah. And then you're going to spend them, or then you're either going to sell them on an exchange, which creates sell orders, or you're going to go into one of the few Pi apps that exist, or apps in the Pi ecosystem that exist, and you spend them there. And then the company or the developer that runs the app and gets all or a share of whatever you spend there will then sell them on an exchange, because they also would like to have fiat that they can use in their day-to-day life. Yeah. So, but overall, I believe the core team delivered on their high listing. Yeah, I mean, top 15 within 2 weeks and a strong upwards trend, more or less. Definitely not bad. And secondary, I said the 100 apps are not a requirement, but it would be great. And I expect within the year or slightly after a year from now to actually see a bunch of more and more polished apps. Cherry shared the link to yesterday's episode. You can find it in the chat. Where we pretty much just focused completely on the Pi ecosystem. And with that, I think that one is answered. And we're going to move on, and I'm going to try to answer this one. I'm not sure yet if I'll manage to, So here it is. I reinstalled the Pi app and I'm unable to log in the Mine app anymore. Is this a server problem? When will it be fixed? So that's a tricky one to answer. First of all, whenever you have some technical issues, doesn't matter if it's with Pi or if it's with anything else in your life, yeah, reaching out to somebody and saying it's not working is not a way to get a solution, because it lacks detail, yeah. So it would be great to know what does "I'm unable to log in" mean? Do you get a message that says wrong password, account not found, or something like that, yeah? However, so it's tricky to answer that, and I would actually recommend that you just go to the official Pi Network subreddit in this case, or unofficial official Pi Network subreddit that you can find here. I'll share the link in the chat, and then create a post there, and there provide more details, what you're trying to do and what you're then seeing on the screen. Yeah. Additionally, I'm going to share something that is unverified, but that somebody else shared with me today. So just a second. In the comments, where do we have Pi Network on our Discord server here? So one user told me that they tried the following. So they still have their passphrase, but they didn't have access to their username password. So they opened the Pi Network app and then selected login, which has then the input for username, email, and password. And then they basically pressed the cancel button. And then it got back to blah, blah, blah. I hit cancel and all of the enter password stuff went away. And it suddenly showed them the mining screen, yeah. And then whatever he pressed didn't do anything other than telling them to log in again. So they pressed cancel again. And then he was forced or asked to install the browser after an update, blah, blah, blah. So nothing changed on the screen, and he hit the drop-down menu to check another area, and there was an option for entering the passphrase. I don't have the ability to verify that right now, yeah, but another user shared that this was how he was able to access his account without using the username or password or phone number or Facebook account, but by using his passphrase. Again, I'm not sure it works, but if you're logged out and you have your passphrase, maybe you can try to replicate that and maybe it works for you. And if so, please let me know in the comments down below that I have confirmation for that, yeah. But beyond that, whenever you have some technical issues, please provide more details. Yeah, without details, it's impossible to really help. The more you include, obviously never share your passphrase, but outside of that, the more details you include, the easier it is to provide with an answer. Yeah, and yeah, what else do we have? What else do we have? Okay, nothing here. So moving on. Yeah, so that's probably an important one for many people that return after not being active for some time. I mined for 6 days in 2021, stopped and just resumed. It shows 14 sessions done with 16 more needed for KYC. Can I do KYC after 16 days? If it tells you that you need 16 more sessions, then yes, you can do your KYC after 16 days. We're actually going to switch here because we don't need Reddit right now. So there is a little bit of confusion about the whole deadline that's currently out there with the 14th of March. That deadline is obviously relevant for people that basically have accounts that are older than 6 months. Yeah, those users have till the 14th of March. Otherwise, they forfeit all the pie that are older than 6 months, and then it's also moving forward. Yeah, and new users obviously have their individual 6 months grace period. So when you sign up for Pi Network, you have 6 months to basically complete your 30 mining session, which makes you eligible for KYC. Actually, you have 6 months, so you sign up, you have 2 weeks to make sure that the name in your profile is correct and matches the name in your ID. Then you have a total, or you should then complete a total of 30 mining sessions, which if you don't miss any takes you 30 days and makes you eligible for KYC. And with that, you can then already work your way through the mainnet checklist that you can find. Let's switch here. That you can find in the in the main menu of your. Is it coming? Hello? 1 second, something's not working. Why are you not working? God, I love it when things are not working. Where are you? Source. That source is working, so why are you not working? Source here. Source iPhone. And source iPhone is here. Okay, so then it's probably, oh God. Sorry for the technical hiccup here. Oh yeah, it just screwed up somehow the placement. Okay, so reset. 1 second, just takes a moment. Transform, show transform. Reset transform. Okay, there we have it. Okay, it's not a little bit too big, but so 1 second, you'll see it in a second as well. So it's a little bit too big here, but yeah, I will deal with that later. So again, when you sign up as a new user, you have 14 days to make sure your name matches. So the name in your profile matches the name, how it's written on your official ID. You have to complete 30 mining sessions, which will take you 30 days if you don't miss any, which makes you eligible to submit KYC. And then you can actually go in your main menu in the Pi Network app to mainnet checklist. And then in the mainnet checklist, basically work your way through that, create your wallet, securely store your passphrase, confirm your Pi wallet, pick a lockup configuration. I would recommend picking 2 weeks and 100% because the lockup only will start when the coins get migrated into your wallet. And once they are there, you can again lock them up for longer if you want to. But this way you don't risk picking a 3-year lockup, but having to wait half a year or a year to get the coins and then another 3 years. So this way you ensure you have a short waiting time that already gives you a mining boost now for when the coins migrate. And when they're migrated, you can then use the on-chain lockup if you want to lock them up for a longer period of time. So it gives you more flexibility while still giving you a mining boost. Yeah. And then you can obviously secure your account, so verify your phone number and so on. And then again, you need your wallet's passphrase to sign the agreement to receive the tokens. And then, as said, you can submit your KYC application and wait for the results and then wait for the migration. Yeah. So for users that are returning, which is quite interesting. So this user, as said, shared that they returned and then basically now it shows them 14 sessions done. I've heard of users returning that get the message that no slot is available, which technically only shows up if your account is younger than 30 days. So you don't have the 30 days completed yet, then people will see no slot is available. Or if your account got flagged for a reason, and there is a form that you then have to submit. I'm gonna share that video real quick, so because I probably will find it much faster. I made a video about that contains the link to submitting the form. Copy clean link. If you receive the no slots available message and you already have more than 30 mining sessions, watch this. Oh, no, wrong there. Watch this. And yeah. So then you can watch the video that I just shared in the chat, and there you don't have to watch the full video, but the point is in the description of the video is the link to the form that you then have to submit. Yeah. And then I have a friend that I mentioned last time that also didn't mine for quite some time. And now I told him about Pi again. And while originally he was too busy to bother with KYC, because who cares about getting I don't know, €1,000 or something like that. Yeah. He actually now did it. And even though he hasn't been active for a year or so, he had no problem submitting his KYC directly. Yeah. So I'm not sure if that means that when an older account comes back, that it basically KYC will work unless the account got flagged or not. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know that with 100% certainty. But yeah, with that, I think you should have all the answers in terms of when you return to Pi after being gone for some time and you have KYC issues. Yeah, as I mentioned in the beginning, for those of you that joined later, so whatever questions I'm not answering today, please submit them in the post that is mentioned in the pinned chat message at the top of the chat, and they get added to the list. And if I don't get to them today, which I most likely won't be able to, then we'll address them in the next stream, and we'll also reply on your comment on that post. So you'll get the answer there. Yeah. There's an easy question. We'll pick that one. So, how can you change your username in Pi Network? The answer is you cannot. I don't think that will ever be an option. I also don't think it makes sense, because it would make it problematic with the whole referral system if suddenly, like somebody still enters your old username, but that user isn't found and so on. So I think that's an unnecessary, feature. People should think about picking a proper username in the beginning. Yeah. Obviously many don't. It's a pity, but at the end of the day, I don't think it's a crucial requirement to be able to change it. And yeah, so I guess there's not much more to say about how to change your username. The next question. So they're like this. So why do Bitget and Lbank offer bonus deposits now? I don't know if they are. So I'm not active on both of those exchanges. And as we know, for that we switch back here and hope that it works. Yep, working. So if we look on CoinMarketCap, we obviously see that there are multiple exchanges that list Pi. However, only 5 of them passed KYB. And just a second. So maybe, yeah. So, copy clean link. I will just share the link here. So if you're curious which exchanges passed KYB, I just shared the message in the chat. Yeah. And those are the exchanges that you should use. There's also the Pi Network site where you can look in the KYB list, and then you see the businesses that passed Pi Network's Know Your Business verification. And the other exchanges, so DigiFinex, Onus Pro, Lbank, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. Bitget is obviously KYB verified. Yeah, I forgot that. Sorry. How could I? We used it during the live stream last week to buy Pi. And other exchanges that are listed here, they obviously can list Pi, but they don't have a wallet specifically for their business, which means if they have any way to deposit or withdraw at all, it needs to be using a personal wallet, which is kind of highly suspect, and you should not use those exchanges. And as far as deposit bonuses, so there is one at Bitget, there is Pionex has a deposit 1 Pi, get 1 Pi in quotes bonus as well. They all have their certain conditions, and they can offer that because they simply use some of the profits that they make from trading fees to then buy Pi or whichever other bonus they promise you and deliver it to you. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm going to answer this one from the chat because I see it over and over again, and it's quite frustrating, to be honest. So Pi Network should introduce another way of securing transactions beside the passphrase, such as email validation. Many people were tricked and shared the passphrase. I completely disagree with that for so many reasons. And please don't get me wrong. It's not that I'm personally offended by you asking the question. I've just seen it so often and typed the reply so often that it's a little bit frustrating at this time for me. But first of all, your passphrase is something that you see on the screen and you've been told that you have to keep it secure, that it gives users complete access to your wallet. and that you should never share it. Yeah. So you literally have been told that, but people don't pay attention to that. Yeah. So it's their own fault. Second of all, there is nothing more secure than a passphrase, because if you take 24 words out of a list of 2048 words, you have more possible combinations than there are atoms in the known universe. Yeah. If you just forget 2 words, so if I tell you 22 of my words of my passphrase, there are more than 4 million possible combinations for the remaining 2 words. Yeah. If I tell you 20, you can imagine how much bigger. We're talking about trillions of combinations already. Yeah. So there is nothing more secure than a passphrase in that aspect. Second, your passphrase is used to sign transactions. Yeah. And if you would want to add any kind of email validation, then whichever email address you would use or so would also need to be stored in some way on the blockchain, making the whole blockchain more complicated. So from the development to start. Additionally, people would then just eventually use they would then forget which email they used, for example. Yeah. The same is with something with 2-factor authentication. When you have 2-factor authentication, there is a key that is generated and stored on whichever, for example, in your Google Authenticator app, and that key is used to basically then generate the 6 digits that you use for 2FA. Yeah. Now, that key would need to be stored somewhere on the blockchain, which makes it kind of impossible to keep it secure in any way, because the blockchain is public information. That's the whole purpose of the blockchain. Yeah. Now, what Pi network could work on would be multi-sig, so multiple signatures, which means that basically in order to confirm a transaction, you don't just have to confirm it in your wallet, which uses your passphrase and therefore the private key derived from that passphrase, but that you could say, okay, I basically link a second and a third or a fourth account, or how many ever I want. And whenever I make a transactions, I have to confirm it in all the accounts. So if you get the passphrase of one of my accounts, you still could not send it. But you would be required to send or to get all the passphrases. However, that doesn't help when you consider that people do not save their passphrase and are now locking them or realizing that they locked out or are locked out of their wallet. When people share their passphrase, because if they have one passphrase and they share it with somebody, or if they have 5 and they share it with somebody, it really doesn't make a difference. It just makes it more complicated. But multi-sig would be something that if they added, it would, at least for people that in quotes know what they're doing, would add an extra layer of security. Yeah. On the Algorand blockchain, there's also I don't know what the exact term is, but it's called keying, I think. So that you basically can, it's similar to multisig in that way, that you key a second wallet to the first one. And then in order to actually, and then basically what that means is that in the future, you use that second wallet to confirm your transactions instead of the first one. So when your passphrase for some reason gets exposed, you create a new wallet, you key it to the first one, and you obviously have to do that before the scammers are able to do that on their end. And then this way, you basically make sure that the passphrase alone that they have from the first wallet is useless. But something like 2FA or email or so, just I don't see a way. Maybe I'm ignorant in that aspect, but from my understanding of how blockchain works, there is no possibility to do that. And every other secure solution, so like multisig, actually would not help with people that do not read and do not pay attention. Yeah. Sadly, it is like this. The same goes for people that do not store their passphrase securely. So if you store your first passphrase as a note on your phone or as a screenshot, you probably, if there would be a second passphrase or 5 passphrases, you probably would do the same. And if your phone or device gets infected with some malicious software that scans your pictures for screenshots that contain words, or that scans your notes, well, then you still lose access. So it wouldn't solve the problem. The core problem here is human error, people not paying attention, despite all the warning texts and notices that are shown to them. And it's not a Pi network problem. It's a problem in general when people first discover cryptocurrencies, that many of them do not understand that a passphrase is the same thing as if they would give out their online banking username, password, and transaction codes. Yeah. So I think that's that. Yeah. There was something else. In that, Emra says AI will guess it soon. Yeah, that's not how it works. You need to run you need to test every possible combination. So AI doesn't make that faster in any way. If you have 4 million combinations, that's not a huge number for a computer to try, yeah, but it's impossible for a human to try, because you would sit forever, basically over 4 million times entering 24 words. So you can calculate how much time that would take you. But that's again only if you know 22 out of 24 words and you only have to guess the remaining 2. But if you know less of that, the fastest computer in the world cannot run the computations to, in quotes, like generate your specific passphrase. Now, obviously, if you would have a quantum computer that works and whatnot, yeah, and you just let it go through every possible combination of a passphrase, including checking if that wallet exists and has a balance, yeah, then you might along the way, while you're trying to get the passphrase from my wallet, find a few other wallets, yeah. Quick reminder, so we're already actually at the end. I'm going to see if I still have a short question left. That's an interesting one that I probably cannot even fully answer. Yeah, I think I replied to the message already, but yeah. Again, for everyone else, please submit your question on the post that is linked in the pinned chat message, and I'll cover it in one of the next streams. And if you don't manage to watch the stream, we'll reply with the link to the exact moment where I'm answering it to your question then, so you get your answer. But that's so far the only way that we've come up with to kind of avoid discussing the same things over and over again. Also, feel free to provide feedback. If you don't like this way of or this format or so, not just you don't like it, but if you have suggestions on how we can make those streams better, so I don't have to talk about the same thing every day. So like, I forgot my passphrase, what should I do, or something like that, that gets asked almost every stream, yeah. And you get the answers that you want and enjoy watching. So please feel free to share your suggestions as well. Anyway, last question for today. Why is the Pi blockchain better than the Bitcoin blockchain? It's actually an interesting question because I never said it is. So that's the first aspect here. And the second aspect to try to answer that is obviously that, in my opinion, Bitcoin was obviously the first cryptocurrency, and the reason why there are other blockchains out there that gain some traction, like, I don't know, Solana, Algorand, Ethereum and whatnot, is because Bitcoin didn't offer some of the features that the market wanted, yeah, or that developers thought the market wanted. And Pi Network also aims to do something different. Bitcoin by now is kind of like the digital version of gold, whereas Pi Network aims to basically become a day-to-day cryptocurrency that you use to pay for goods and services and in different apps in the ecosystem and so on. And what makes Pi Network, in my opinion, better is the whole KYC and KYB. I know people are, some people are like, crypto should be anonymous and whatnot, yeah, which is the whole reason why many governments are against crypto, because depending on the cryptocurrency, it's easy to some extent to basically pay for illegal goods and services this way. So it helps crime in some way, not all cryptocurrencies and not in every country and so on. And there's a lot of things involved here, but in general, it has the bad touch that it can be anonymous and as such can be used to pay for, I don't know, human trafficking, buy yourself a new girlfriend or so that got kidnapped somewhere, yeah, or buy yourself a kilo of cocaine or something, yeah. So crypto obviously has that bad touch, and Pi Network, however, stands out because every single wallet on the blockchain that is activated, so it received coins from a migration, belongs to a user that passed KYC, which means that theoretically, which is an important aspect because it's relevant also for the people that got scammed, because when somebody stole your coins because you shared your passphrase or exposed it in some other way, doesn't matter, those coins had to be transferred to another Pi wallet, which means to a wallet belonging to a user that passed KYC. Now, the only loophole here, unfortunately, is when people are, in quotes, naive, dumb, however you want to call it, to sell their wallets. and accounts, yeah. So if maybe a year ago Pi Network wasn't listed on exchanges, and then somebody approached you and said, hey, I give you $1,000 if you give me your Pi Network username and password, then they change the password, then they create a new, and you already passed KYC, then they create a new wallet, and then they start to run their scam and basically withdraw all the money to your wallet, which means if the police would get involved with all the stolen Pi, the police would go to Social Chain, so the business, to Social Chain, the business that is building and running Pi, and ask basically for, okay, who does this wallet belong to? Just like if you would have, if it would be a bank account. And then Social Chain, if there is a warrant, so an official judge says you have to hand it out, would then provide and say, okay, whatever, Thomas Ferguson belong or is the owner of that wallet, and he lives in whatever, in, I don't know, like India, US, doesn't matter, yeah. And then the police would knock at this guy's door, and he would then be shocked and would just say, no, I sold my wallet, but he might still be liable for some of the damages, yeah, depending on the different laws and so on. But to circle back, what makes Pi better than the Bitcoin blockchain is obviously, from a technical perspective, higher transactions per second, if I'm not mistaken. It's way more decentralized from a node perspective, obviously not from a organizational perspective, since the Pi core team is in control, yeah. But the biggest aspect is the KYC and KYB, that every person, every human being has to complete KYC in order to have a wallet, and every business has to complete KYB. So to actually help reduce scams and stuff like that, but also to make it possible to maybe hunt down scammers, with the exception being sold accounts. So where basically a sold account is used to facilitate the scams, and then the police knocks at the wrong door. Anyway, yeah, so please also consider the things that Jerry shared. So please vote for the Coinly to add the blockchain support for Pi Network. It would help a lot of pioneers, me included, and only takes you 5 seconds or 30. Yeah, and as said, feel free to provide your feedback. I'm not sure how much I like this new way of handling this, so going through the pre-submitted questions, but I feel that it would help to not have duplicate topics every stream. But again, if you have a better idea how to do it, please share it. Yeah, like we are open for, or we're happy about every kind of feedback and suggestion we get to make this stream better organized, to provide more information for you, and to just cover more ground in every episode instead of always chewing the same things again. That said, I think we're gonna finish today by taking a quick look at the chart. Trading view, chart up, and I need to sip. I think we're on a very good track. I mentioned I don't do price speculations, yeah, because if I share a low price and I say, oh, Pi will only go to $3.20, and then maybe thousands of people watch my video and believe that. Hi, Aaron, by the way, great to have you here. Or if I say Pi will go to $3,000 and then maybe thousands of people believe that, but I turn out wrong, so I'm not sharing price speculation. But I shared in one of my in one recent stream, maybe Cherry can share it, the one where we did the price forecasting in quotes, how I applied the trading strategy that I usually use, which is called the Elliott wave theory or Elliott wave principle. And from the looks of it, we are following a very nice Elliott wave pattern where we have a so-called 5-wave impulse, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then our 3-wave corrective wave here that potentially finished here, which would be very fitting because it is the 61.8% retracement of the entire 5-wave impulse. And it is the area of the 4th wave of this 5-wave impulse. And it's a pretty much almost perfect 3-way corrective move. Yeah. Now the confirmation for that, there is no guarantee yet, but visually, maybe if we zoom in, we get to see it. Yeah. Yes. Visually, it looks like we have the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave move here. So which would make this the next, I'm going to zoom out again, which would make this small hill here the next impulse, correction, and then correction, here's the lower point that is not that low, and then basically that would indicate that we're now in the overall third wave. Yeah, that might sound a little bit confusing, but basically those 5 waves here in Elliott wave theory become a bigger wave 1, those 3 waves become a wave 2, and we would now be in a bigger wave 3. Now we're not fully out of the woods yet. We would need to break the high that we had here, and that high was at 196, or did we already go higher here? Oh, we already went higher here. Okay, so then we're not 100% out of the woods yet because of that. Because right now, if we use Elliott wave theory, there is the option, oh no, where are those stupid patterns? There is the option ABC that basically this is just part of the correction in some form. Yeah, it doesn't look nice, which already indicates that it's likely not the case. And then we still get another push further down, maybe here to the 78.6 retracement. Again, I don't consider this likely, but right now that option still exists. And the other alternative is, as said, that this here is the next wave 1, wave 2, and we're right now in this wave 3. Yeah, I'm just putting the point somewhere, 4, 5. Yeah. The biggest aspect, however, of Elliott wave theory is where the price goes from here. For that, I need to scroll a little bit. It's going to be a little bit hard to see. I usually don't use TradingView, but I don't have a pie chart in my regular trading software, so that makes it a little bit meh. I can drag around here, yeah. So very often, not always, so no guarantees, yeah. But very often when we have a wave 1 and a wave 2, the third wave, so again, this will then be a big wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. I'm actually going to put it there, so just a second. So to visualize this, so this is a big wave 1. This would potentially be wave 2, and we would not right now be in wave 3, and then we get a wave 4 and a wave 5. Yeah, and very often the third wave, so when we have wave 1, wave 2, will reach and turn around at the 261.8 extension of this first wave, which would be $6.20 to $6.76. Yeah, now that doesn't mean that it will go there. There's no guarantee. I'm just saying, in my experience, if the chart keeps following an Elliott wave pattern, this would be the most likely target for the wave 3. Then we would get another retracement, and then we would get a 5th wave, although the target for the 5th wave then depends on where the 3rd wave actually ends and where the 4th wave goes and so on, yeah? Yeah. And yeah, I guess with that, we'll leave it for today. If you're curious, if you're into trading, Cherry shared the link, or she retracted it actually, so, but you can actually share it. It's quite fitting, or I can share it real quick. So yeah, no, she shared it already. Oh, you shared the link to a video. To which one? I will have to check that. Oh, yeah, that's actually my trading YouTube channel. But yeah, so there's also a link then in the description of that video where you can basically get the book, the Elliott Wave Principle book. You can read it online for free, or you can get a physical copy if you want to. But yeah, if you're into trading, check it out. It's been, in the 38 years that I'm on this planet, the most reliable trading strategy that I found. Anyway, with that, we again have hugely overtime. And so we're going to call it a day. Thank you all so much for stopping by. I hope you got some answers to your questions. As said, submit your remaining questions, please, at the pinned post, and I'll address them then tomorrow or in the next stream and so on, and we'll roll forward. And also provide us with feedback, how you like this new way of handling the Common Chaos Live, and what better ideas, or what ideas you have to make it better. And yeah, have a great rest of the day. See you then all tomorrow with another episode of Common Chaos Live. Till then, bye-bye.